Is it pure greed?
Alan Trefler founded Pegasystems at 26, and he's still running it 40 years later. He's a chess master and billionaire who built a quiet empire in enterprise software.
This is gonna be ugly.
Software running inside the banks you use, the airlines you fly, and the insurance companies you call when something goes wrong. Most people have never heard his name.
Checkmate.
Checkmate?
He built Pega from scratch, never stepped aside, and he's still the largest shareholder.
You're a billionaire.
You know how much I like hearing that.
That's what I want to ask him about. What it takes to build something that consequential and stay at the helm of it for 43 years.
People use these words like AI, agentic, and agents. The way it's discussed is mostly gibberish.
He's not Musk. He's not Bezos. I want to know what he sees from across the board.
Using some of these labels, frankly, it's sort of demeaning.
My name is William Salvi, and this is the CEO series. Let's go talk to Alan.
All right, we're with Alan Trefler, the CEO of Pegasystems. Alan?
Hey, great to see you.
Yeah, thanks for joining. I appreciate it. So you're actually one of the longest serving CEOs of like a public company that I've ever, I think you're the number one. So I don't want to, but tell me, when'd you start the company?
I started the company in 1983.
You were 26?
Yes. Yeah.
Why did you start this company? So can you walk me through the origin story a little bit?
Well, I think the inception came when I was working as a consultant for some large New York banks. And I saw the way we wrote software for our customers, and I thought it was, kind of clumsy. We would have customers write document specifications, they would give it to us, we would program it, give back to them the things we thought they wanted, and they would explain why they wouldn't. And I went and saw some friends who were in the CAD/CAM business, who were doing computer-aided design for manufacturing. And they were doing this thing where they would have pictures, wireframes, diagrams that defined what they wanted to build. And then somebody could go and play with it in the software and get it exactly right, get the piece part right, get the car to look right. Then you could attach it to a milling machine and actually create it. And I went to my boss, I said, why don't we do this for business software? And he told me no.
Smart boss.
Yeah, well, a couple of years later, he came back and he said, we really should have done that. Yeah. But he sold the company, and I had to decide what to do next, and decided would try to follow that vision.
Walk me through your journey a little bit. Like truly, you have to be one of the top, the longest serving CEOs of public companies, over $1 billion in revenue. You have to be number one. I assume.
The interesting thing about when I started is that I think in some ways the stress was different, because there was nobody to do anything for you. There were no venture capitalists available at the time. There was no cloud. We had to go buy a computer, right, and somehow find the financing from that. And we knew from the inception that we were going to bootstrap this and make it so that it could be a viable company worthwhile of our clients and our staff, but that we were going to have to do it with our own hands. And I think, in recent decades, there's been so much of an influx of capital availability, other types of things, and candidly expectations of doing things overnight, that I think that on one hand that maybe provides less stress because you have more resources, but on the other hand, there's a certain focus to the mind in knowing that the really important thing is making payroll at the end of the week. Mm-hmm. And having gone through a number of years of that, where the thing we were proud of was we always made payroll, that gives you a certain perspective on business that we've really tried to live through.
This is going to be ugly.
So you've got 10 minutes.
You have 2.
And I have 2.
You ready?
Let's see what you have.
What's that even mean?
Gambit.
Ah!
Gambit.
I'm just like,
that is me.
Is that checkmate?
Yes.
How much time was that? When did you start playing chess?
When I was 6.
When you were 6, who taught you it?
My father.
Was he really into it?
No, but he played, and he would play with friends, and I would watch them play, and I learned from that.
How does chess relate to technology in AI and what you're doing?
Well, I worked on teaching computers to play chess, and so that's a really good use of AI technology. Back then, we weren't very good at it, so we could only teach a computer at that era to play kind of a mediocre level. Today, of course, they can beat the world champion easily.
How easily can it beat Magnus Carlsen?
Oh, easily. So
What is this? So I just watched that documentary. The scoring system. What's Magnus is at, like 2,800 or something?
yes.
What would yours be at your prime? At your prime?
It was about, I got to about 2,300.
How are you kind of taking in everything with AI right now?
Well, having been involved and steeped in it for 4 decades and seen it go through a variety of transitions, it's not scary at all, but it is pretty exciting in terms of the pace and the types of things that are now feasible and now being considered. It really does, I think, portend a massive change in the way we think of running our lives and running our businesses.
What's something that frustrates you about mainstream AI knowledge, culture, how people are taking it in, how people are talking about it?
The way it's described, the way it's discussed is mostly gibberish. People use these words like AI, agentic, and agents, and it means in some cases all things to all people. I also think there's a question as to whether the artificial in AI is really the right way to think about it. I've always thought of it as augmented intelligence. How do you take the intelligence of people and use technology to augment it and make them better? That's really how we viewed it right from the very inception.
Do you ever get frustrated with business leaders and how they talk about it? Like some of the top business leaders?
I think there are business leaders who should know better, who sometimes talk about it in a way that just encourages that confusion. And there is so much confusion now about AI and what it's going to mean that it's I think, a risky enough and challenging enough environment without the confusion. I think that a lot of the pundits and the leaders who speak sometimes very provocatively are doing it because it's in their interest. It gets people talking about them. It gets their products and their companies more attention. And they're trying to almost be self-influencers.
How do you think AI will benefit me? I'm 34. I have a daughter. She's 19 months old. How will she be benefited from all this? Because right now it's kind of like social media. It's kind of like, when it was first coming out, I was excited about it. Oh, there's Alan on Facebook. Good to see you. Picture of his friends. Now it's like poison. It's a clear net negative to me, social media. And now you have all these tech people who do have extreme wealth and power and influence. And they're telling me that this will be good, again. And so far, I think they've been full of shit. So I'm wondering, at what point is it no, this will be good?
So look, the technology and lots of the generations of this technology have been used for ridiculous things. I don't think when people envision the idea of social networks in the original sense that they thought that it would become a fast lane for advertising and TikTok. I mean, that's which I view to be
it's literally just an ad machine.
And I'll tell you the truth, I've been wrong in my prognostications before. I thought that the internet would actually serve to open people's minds. The fact that it has created lots of little bubbles that people live in is an example of both a great disappointment and where my prognostications on this stuff should really be taken with a grain of salt.
Why do you think that is though? It's really interesting, specifically from you, seeing the technology over the years. If you when the internet comes out or when AI starts to get better and better, and you're thinking to yourself, oh, this will make life better. It should. I hope it does, and then it kind of turns into a different direction. Why do you think that is?
It's always the nature of things that some people will find ways to turn them into negatives. And
is it pure greed?
I think lots of the stuff that happens on the internet is ego and insecurity and people trying to belittle other people and other things of that type that have nothing to do with greed, but have a lot to do with other of the deadly sins.
True that.
Checkmate.
Checkmate. That was quick.
It was also illegal
Why?
because I have the knight in the way.
Oh, you just so. Okay, explain the significance of this. We got a ton of bobbleheads here.
Well, after 15 years of tenure, we give each of our staff members 2 bobbleheads, one of which they get to take home and share and enjoy on their mantle, and we also give them a certificate for dinner. And one ends up in this Hall of Fame. And we all get to enjoy their bobbleheads in perpetuity.
Yeah. Does anyone get mad at their bobblehead portrayal?
If you do not like your bobblehead, you can have your bobblehead rebobbled.
Remade.
Yes.
How many are here? Ish, roughly.
About 500.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. It goes around the side.
How many employees did you have when you first started?
3.
When did it start to really grow?
Oh, it has grown gradually throughout, actually. So, by the end of the first year, we were solid 6 people.
Did you ever worry about growing too fast ever, or you wanted to kind of keep that steady ship and keep up?
At one point, we did raise some capital and we did grow faster. That's when we went public.
Yeah.
And after that, we worried a lot because we didn't do a good job of it.
Yeah.
So,
true honesty here. How is it being a public company CEO?
it's hard. There's a lot of distractions. We're fortunate in that we're able to stay really focused, and we've got a really stable business, and that's good. But you have a lot of people with a lot of opinions.
Yeah.
And you just have to be able to deal with it.
What about today in the stock market, where it's like we're waiting on a tweet? So it's like company. You're just literally waiting on news and speculation.
So look, we've been public since 1996. So we've seen it all.
Yeah.
And I don't obsess or worry about a quarter. I don't worry about a tweet. At the end of the day, it's what we do that is going to happen over years.
Do too many companies worry about the next quarter?
Absolutely. I think there's way too much of a short-term focus in America. And you've got to be able to do okay for the short term, but you also have to really make sure you're thinking about what's a year or two out.
Yeah.
There's a concept in chess called candidate moves. When a chess master looks at a position, they don't just think about it to figure out what to do. They usually try to come up with a couple of candidates. I would look and say, well, I recognize this pattern. This is actually a well-known pattern. And what do I want to do? Do I want to play peacefully? Do I want to make the king escape? Do I want to do something called the gambit, in which I attack you, give up a pawn, but try to distract you? And then, having come up with those candidates, I would think about each one and then make the choice. Very different than the way a weaker player plays, in which they just tend to look at the position and try to come up with the right answer. I actually think this idea of candidates is very applicable to business. It really helps people understand that there are choices. The choice to be more aggressive, the choice to be more safe, more passive. And having thought of those choices just makes you tremendously more effective at being able to do the right thing over and over and over again.
I'm actually going to go to the most Googled questions. We pull these from Google.
Okay.
All right, you ready for it?
Sure.
Will AI create more opportunities or displace people?
It will do both. It will create lots of tremendous opportunities. You can already see that. And certainly lots of roles and lots of jobs are going to be very different or gone.
Do you worry about that from an internal perspective?
We're trying to be really transparent and candid about it. And we're inviting people to help us figure out what the job function should be. But there's no questions that the way we write computer code is massively changing. The way that we engage with our clients is massively changing. There are some things that are really positive and negative at the same time.
What is Alan Trefler's leadership philosophy?
Oh, I think that knowledge is everything. That the most important thing is to be informed.
What is Alan Trefler's book about?
Built for change.
Built for change.
Yeah, it's about a decade too old at this stage. It's.
Do you ever read back on it, or are you kind of done with that?
I remember it well enough. Thank you. It's.
I should have read it before this. Is Pegasystems planning to go private?
No.
No. Okay. What is the difference between Pega and Salesforce?
Pega believes in a really coherent architecture. In other words, we would never go and buy 12 disparate companies, call them all cloud, and say they run as a system. We really try to build things that fit together in a very well thought out way. Look, they built a great company and they did a couple of very gutsy things. But in terms of the difference, we really think that having the core architecture hold together in a very, very common way will make our software more sustainable and more important to our clients over time.
Where'd you grow up?
Brookline, Massachusetts.
Nice.
Yes.
So you've been here your whole life?
I never escaped.
Nice.
Yes.
And your parents, what did they do?
So my father was first generation. He survived the war in Europe, and he came over and he started his father's business, which was the repair of porcelain and crystal and antiques.
You said your father survived the war. Was he in the Holocaust?
Yes.
Wow. Did he ever talk about it?
You know, what was interesting and sad is that he always wanted to talk later. It wasn't a topic that he felt great about, let's just say. And he had a stroke and very suddenly became incapacitated. And we never had the chance, which is one of the great disappointments I have. It's pretty amazing that he came and set up what he set up. He married my mother, who was born in this country, but her parents came over from no less Ukraine after the revolution, Russian Revolution. And so they really, I think, built a story which is the American dream.
You mentioned the American dream. You're a billionaire.
You know how much I like hearing that.
I do, yeah. And I just want to say, I mean, the sentiment on billionaire is negative.
I would say negative would be almost
That'd be
positive.
That's like light compared to how do you explain your thoughts on it?
This is an example of some delusions that it is convenient for the media to promote, and that it's convenient for politicians to promote, that are true in some cases, but profoundly untrue in others. I'm a quote billionaire because I was able to build a successful company and protect it from the venomous other firms that would buy it. You know, it's my ownership interest that gives me that number on paper. And it does enable me to do certain things charitably and sort of personally, though, I have like one home. It's not like I'm running around.
Do you have one home and it's
in Brooklyn? Actually, we're going to move, so we just bought one and they're going to move out of it into new. But yes, I have one home. I don't have any boats or planes or anything.
You're not a yacht guy. You don't strike me like a yacht guy.
I think that. I like yacht rock, but I think that would be about the limit. But people use that as almost a value shaming sort of topic, and it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
You have a real influence over people, and so when people say, "Oh, they're anti-billionaire" or something, or they're anti-big business, I think it's because a lot of people also think that there's a lot of people. I'm not saying like you, but there's people like you that have failed the social contract a little bit. And it's like...
Well, look, the most amusing and probably highest rated TV shows are the ones that bring this class conflict into it. And so people have that in front of them constantly. And don't get me wrong, there are people of great wealth who behave very, very badly, and that is not excusable. I just think running around and using some of these labels is frankly, it's sort of demeaning.
What would you say to people who are untrustworthy of like big companies now?
A lot of people have questioned trust, and it's really important, I think, to understand that a company, even a big company, is very much about its people, and its people are very much around its culture. And the key is not necessarily to have everything be perfect, but be committed to eventually get things right. And that's, to me, what makes a trustworthy company.
That was great. I'm so glad I asked it.
That's me.
How many times did you beat me? 3 or 4?
3.
3?
On camera.
Was that good?
That's good.
Would it be better if it was more?
No. All right, now I'm going to the fire round.
Oh, into the fire.
Last meal on earth.
Pasta with broccoli rabe.
Any sides? Any drinks?
Oh, well, martini.
There we go. Love that. Morning or a night person?
Oh, I'm definitely a night person.
Business leader you respect and why?
I think Jensen Huang has done an amazing job with NVIDIA in terms of pivoting it to take advantage of AI, doing a great job of telling the story, and really helping create an industry.
What is an outside hobby that you have?
Ping pong.
Ping pong.
Yes.
You have a coach.
I do.
Yeah. How often do you play?
Every weekend.
When was the last time you were afraid?
You know, I don't really get afraid. I think I draw a distinction between being concerned about something, being worried about something, and being afraid. You know, to my mind, when you become afraid, usually you've lost some of your ability to respond. And candidly, when there's something that you're anxious about, you need the ability to respond more than ever.
Tell me about your best friend.
You know, I would have to actually think my brother is my best friend because I really trust him.
Nice. What is your message to the world? It's a bit of a chaos world. I'm not asking you to talk politics or anything. I mean, you can't if you want.
Yeah,
but my point is things people feel uneasy.
Yeah, this too will pass. I think sometimes we act like it won't. Always does.
What do you want like Pegasystems to stand for?
Well, you know, we chose an original vision that was a really hard one. And I think for a lot of years we were going through, you know, they talk about the steps in life that a person, the first thing they try to survive, right? And then they try to be successful. I think we're at that third phase where we'd like to try to be significant. The significance comes from trying to change the way that the world builds software. You know, we think, especially with this AI capability, there are whole new ways you can think about being able to empower people to use the ubiquitous systems that we have that will do all sorts of amazing things.
What do you care about?
I care about quality. I care about doing good work. I think that, and I look at this carefully when I interview people, having something that you do that you're proud of is what makes people feel that they are, in effect, both creators and craftspeople, and that's something that is of great value to me, and I try to really encourage throughout the company. Thank you very much, guys.
Thanks for your time.
Good luck getting to the airport.
Don't tell me what to do. Nope.
I consider you a professional.
Thank you.
I would not try this.
Although he just said the Thomson Reuters interview, he was like, it was all right.
Oh,
You didn't do your time. I'm remembering.